Hey everybody, thanks for coming to watch the show. We're going to be talking about GTA today, and if you play this game and you follow it on social media or anything, then you probably know all the people that whine about it and all the complainers and all the people that have problems with it and so on and so forth. And it gets kind of annoying just to see how everybody's just like, oh, everything costs too much money on GTA Online. This game's no fun. It's just everything you need to do cool stuff, you just need money, and it's just not fun anymore. So today I kind of wanted to address this issue that so many poor souls have been forced to suffer under, and that is just things you can do in GTA without money. You remember like how we used to play GTA, like on the PS2 we'd play San Andreas and we'd just go on a frenzy of just killing random people or trying to do a cool stunt or something like that. And I'm just kind of bring it back to those golden years and days where we could just play GTA for fun. So I kind of wanted to remind everybody about that and just talk about a few things that you can do in GTA without a whole lot of money or none at all. So first off, like I said, you can play it the old way. You can do police chases, or you just try and get as big of a wanted level as you can and try and survive for the longest amount of time possible. Good places, I think, to do that is basically just the heart of the city. Anywhere you can just start shooting things or blowing stuff up, and cops will show up. But you need to have a good suit of armor or just some kind of getaway car close by so that you don't get immediately mowed down. Another thing you can do is explore. This is somewhat better to do in the story mode because there's a lot more things that are just kind of happening dynamically in the world in single player as far as just things to see. There's animals in the open world, and there's random events that will occur. So if you're going to do the exploring part of this, I would recommend that you play on single player, but you can do it in GTA Online as well. There's definitely no shortage of cool stuff to see in the Los Santos map and just all the different little things. I've played this game basically since it came out day one. I played it at the midnight release, so I've been playing it for years, and I still see things that I hadn't seen before. So there's tons and tons and tons of things to see in this game. So exploring is a really cool thing to do. Another thing to try and do is just take your cool sports car or even just a car out of off the street and do stunts with it. Try and get a big go off a big jump, or cause a big explosion, and do some cool stuff with Rockstar Editor. That's a really neat tool that you can use, and I don't see a whole lot of people do much with that. I've messed around with it a little bit, and even if you just make like a little 10 or 20 second video, it's kind of cool just to mess around with. So those are a few things that you can do as far as just playing GTA like we used to back in the day. Another cool thing you can do is something that I used to do with a friend of mine, and I did this a lot on GTA 4. I haven't done it as much on here, but it's still very possible. Something you can do is just try and kill yourself in the craziest way possible. I think my favorite thing to do in GTA 4 was fly a helicopter as fast as I could towards a building and jump out with some kind of invincibility cheat on, because the Euphoria mechanics or whatever in the GTA 4 was a lot more floppy, so Nico would just fly all over the place, and it's still something kind of funny you can do in GTA 5. You might not get hours and hours of enjoyment out of it, but that's something you can kind of do just to mess around with, and that kind of goes along with my first thing that I mentioned. Another thing that you can do, and this doesn't require any money at all except to pay for the paint job, which should only be like $200 or $300 at the most, and you can get that just from basically playing the game, just shooting somebody and picking up their pocket change. But something you can do when you have that pocket change is sell your cars to Simeon. This was a lot bigger when the game first came out, and there wasn't like all these other CEO, biker organization, whatever, all these other things to do, but you can still do it. It only gives you probably like anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe $12,000, but it's there. No one ever does it. It's basically free money. It's something kind of neat to do that a lot of people have kind of forgotten about. I myself haven't done it in a long time, but I still occasionally will drive over to the docks. And if you don't know how to do that, or you have just forgotten, basically Simeon sends you a text and I think it's at the start of every time you join an online session, he will send you a text on your phone with a list of cars, and he tells you the names of them. He doesn't tell you what they look like, but a quick Google search will show you what he's looking for. I usually will try and find the Mammoth Patriot. It's basically a Hummer, and it's all over the place, so that's a really easy one to find. Another thing that you can do just to kind of have fun, and you can also make a little bit of money doing this, it's one of my favorite things on the game. It's these GTA Parkour death matches, and I don't know if you've ever played any of these, but if you go to your phone and you do a quick job for a death match, for me it almost always pops up with some kind of parkour map that someone's created. And basically what it is it starts out with everybody either has like a gas can or just like their fists. They don't have any kind of guns, and they have to climb through this really convoluted and confusing parkour obstacle course to try and get, either over the top of this big fence or to the top of a big structure, and that's where they'll have all the weapons. So it's pretty cool to try and climb up all these weird obstacle courses and do that. I'll try and put a few names down in the description of some death matches that I've played that you could check out as well. Those are pretty fun to do. The only downside is that sometimes they're designed to have like a little cheat mechanism in them where somebody can instantly get to the guns, so that kind of sucks. But if you run into one of those, just leave and try and find another one. I've had a lot of fun with those, and I recommend that you check them out. Another thing that you can do, keep your eyes out on Rockstar's posts on Facebook or Twitter or just anything basically where they have a social media presence, because for the last, I don't know how long, 6-7 months, maybe longer, they've been doing double money and RP events every 2 weeks. And these can have double money on jobs or missions. It's usually some kind of new adversary mode, and they'll also usually have like sales on a lot of the new DLC vehicles or warehouses or something. So if you have a little bit of a stockpile of money built up, then that's a good time to try and buy one of those. But those double money events, I've made tons of cash doing those. If you play it pretty regularly for a day or two, then you can usually make at least $1 million, no problem. I think one they did not too long ago, I think it was something where you had to drive your car and try and land on a target pad. I made probably like $2 million on that in just like 2 or 3 days. So there's a lot of money to be made doing that, and it doesn't cost you anything to do it. So that's one fun thing that you can do with that. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is something you can do just to have some fun and make some money, is the stunt races. Now, these were really big when they first came out. Everybody was kind of excited about all the crazy race tracks that Rockstar had put out, and I feel like they've kind of died down a little bit. People kind of forget about things after they've been out for a couple months or something. You're just like, well, where's the next thing? I want something new. But it doesn't mean that you can't have fun with stuff that's already in the game. And I recently went back and started playing the stunt missions a little bit, or the stunt races rather, and they're a ton of fun as compared to just like a regular race. Even if you don't win, they're a lot of fun just to kind of try and get through the tracks and have some cool scenes where you're jumping and you're going through these loops and everything. So if you just kind of go back to what we started playing this game for in the beginning, which is to have fun and play GTA, then you can enjoy stuff like that again. Even if you're just doing missions, like that was really big when the game originally started. The online component was getting bigger. Everybody just kind of did one mission or 2 missions over and over, and they would just grind those to make money. And there's still a lot of fun, and there's a little bit of money to be made with that as well. It's not as much as it used to be. They kind of nerfed the payouts on a lot of those, but the missions are still fun, and it's something kind of neat to do if you don't want to mess with trying to do like heists or anything like that. So that's a less complicated way that you can get some money. Another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is something that you may have forgotten about or you just didn't really bother with, and that's the daily challenges. And every day that you log on in your in inventory or interaction menu, you're gonna have some challenges, and it's usually like, I think 5 things for you to do, and a lot of times they're really easy, just like rob a liquor store or parachute off of a tall structure or steal a bunch of cars. Just something he can usually do within like 15 or 20 minutes, and those pay $25,000, and I think they give you 5,000 RP. So that's something kind of neat to do, and it's a fun way to just make a little bit of cash. It might not be, a big pile of money that you can go out and buy a new sports car with, but it's free money and it's just waiting for you to go get it. So I just wanted to remind you guys about that if maybe you had forgotten about it, because that was real big when it came out, but I think people have kind of let that die down as well. And the next thing I wanted to mention to you guys is to try and do the free mode activities that pop up. Every time I play in a free mode lobby, there's at least one or two of these that will show up, and those are just various activities and missions you can do, and I usually make a pretty good amount of cash with those. If you're paying attention to when they pop up and you kind of get a jump start on it, it's not too hard to win most of those, and a lot of times they're pretty easy, along with other things in free mode. It's usually just something like fall the longest without dying, and a good place to do that is down at the docks. That one pops up quite a bit for me, so I don't know if it is for you, but if you do have that one, I would recommend going to the docks and jumping off of the shipping containers, because those are about 50 to 40 feet high, and that's usually a really high, really hard to beat dying from that level. I don't see many people fall further than that and actually live from it. So to keep your eyes out for the free mode activities, because they pop up all the time, and if you're got a keen eye and you're kind of paying attention to when they're showing up, then you can usually win those. And the last thing that I wanted to tell you guys you can do is join a CEO or a biker club. Just join something like that, because you get paid for being in it either way, and I'm always getting invites from people that want me to join their organization. They may even want you to do like jobs with them, where they'll sell drugs or guns or anything that's come up in the recent updates. And that's an easy way to make money, and the longer that you're in the CEO organization, the more money you make. I think every like 10, maybe 15 minutes, you get a payment from SecuroServe, and they'll give you like 10,000 starting out, and then it goes up every 15 minutes. It gives you $1,000 more. So don't quote me on those exact times, but I know you do get more money the longer that you're in it. So those are just a few things that you can do in GTA without any money, or if it costs money, it's very little. So just my basic advice on this is just try and remember why you started playing GTA in the first place. Don't get disillusioned by the $5 million stunt planes that are coming out, or all these new bunkers and all this other crap that's just severely overpriced. It doesn't take away from the fact that this is a great game and there's a lot of fun to be had with it, and you don't have to listen to all the haters about how Rockstar is greedy and all that. Of course they are greedy and they're trying to milk this game as much as they can, but there's still a lot of fun to be had with it. And if you used to play it but you're kind of not really into it anymore, just try a few of these things that I mentioned, and maybe it'll get you back into it and you can have some fun, because in the end, fun is why we're playing video games, so don't forget about that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and maybe you learned a few things. Hopefully you did. If you did like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for videos all the time on just random stuff. It can be anything from books to movies, TV, obviously video games, just anything that's basically cool to nerds like me. So if you're into that, stay tuned for more videos like this. And also follow me on Twitter at @TheBenBroadcast, because the Ben Jammy broadcast was taken, so I had to settle for just the Ben broadcast. So follow me on there. I'll be putting up video updates and just talking about random stuff with you guys. So reach out to me there if you have questions or you just want to talk to me. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you later.